Hey, what's going on guys? It's Panda here again. Now, before we start, I might just tell you a little story about what happened last night. Now don't worry, it is related to the video at hand. Now, let's start from the beginning, as I open my can of Monster to get ready for a very long story. Ah, there we go. That's the sound I love. Now, I recently got a new computer, and at the moment I am recording this on my old computer. Now, what I didn't realise is that my mic, which is a blue snowball, is not compatible with Windows 7 64-bit. So, when I went to record 2 hours of Katawa Shoujo for you guys last night on my new computer, I thought, yeah, you know, everything's fine, until I play it back and realise that the mic was incredibly quiet and the game sound was incredibly loud. So it was, you know, a few curse words were thrown about here and there, but apart from that, yeah, I still haven't resolved the issue. So at the moment I am recording on my old computer, so if you can still hear my very loud fan in the computer in the background, I do apologise. It's a shit laptop, but hey, if the mic had been, you know, working on 64-bit, you wouldn't hear any of that on my new computer, because it's a nice flash new computer. It's a Sony Vaio. I really like it, apart from the fact that I can't record any Katawa Shoujo on it yet. But hey, you know, we're working through that sort of stuff. Okay, I'm back. Sorry if you noticed the jump in the video there. I had to go and answer the phone, so I do apologise for that. If you did notice that, you get 1 cookie and 10 internet points, so there you go. Here's a pat on the back for you as well. Now, where was I? Oh, that's right, yeah. So, hey, if any of you guys know how I can fix this, apparently I need to install older drivers or something so I can get it working. I don't know. I don't know how to do this, so if anybody can link me, that's not what I wanted load. Yeah, feel free to do so, because I would love to start recording on my new computer. It's just, I can't at the moment because it's being an asshole. So, anyway, I do apologise. Let's get back into it. Right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Hanako went to go to the little girl's room. Alright. Lily, however, looks a little wounded. Don't worry about it. I don't think it was you. But I think she's been getting stronger recently. You've seen it yourself, right? That went a bit awry. Fortunately, Lily doesn't look offended, and by now I really shouldn't be quite so scared of stepping on that landmine around her. Possibly. Sometimes I find it hard to tell though. Silence reigns for a moment before 2 teacups, a pie and a mug of steaming coffee appear in front of us. I notice that Yuko takes special care to place the teacup against the tip of Lily's fingers, letting her know where it is. I'm going to take a sip of my Monster, seeing as how this is an appropriate time since everybody else is drinking. Alright, here you go. Thanks, Yuko. Thank you. With a quick and silent bow, the bespectacled waitress takes her leave. Ah, that's right, I was meaning to ask you something, and now would be the right time to do so. Amorles. Hanako's birthday is coming up, and I was hoping that you might accompany me for present shopping in the city this weekend. Hanako's birthday is soon? I suppose it would be a nice change to cheer her up a bit. Like Yuko, she always seems to be teetering on the edge of either panic or depression, and I've never seen to enjoy herself much outside of the chess games. All that aside, learning the layout of the city better with a friend keeping me company sounds like a good way to spend a weekend. Sure, I'd be happy to. Have you got any plans for what to do for her birthday? A party or anything? Hanako being Hanako, perhaps a low-key affair would be... Lily suddenly cuts herself short, leaving me to wonder why as she brings her teacup to her lips and begins to sip. After a few seconds, I notice Hanako walking up to us over her shoulder. Lily's hearing must be very good indeed if it was the sound of the restroom door opening that tipped her off. Hanako takes her seat once again and wastes no time in drinking her tea. Soon the three of us are quietly eating and drinking as the sun sets. It's a nice way to spend the remainder of the day's light, and it makes me appreciate the quiet and serene surroundings of Yamaku. I think I'm really beginning to take to life here. To like life here. Okay, I did have it right the first time. As isolated as it may be. I finish off the last of my coffee and rest the mug on the table while the girls talk between themselves. The coffee here is a little bitter for my taste, but still quite good. Better than what I can make for myself in any case. The girls' discussion is mainly focused on their respective reading preferences, which does give me a little curiosity about a related topic. Hey Hanako, I was just wondering, aside from chess and reading, do you have any other hobbies or anything you like doing? Completely butchered that sentence. She's completely stopped in her tracks, looking quite surprised that anyone would be interested in asking such a question about her. It takes her a little time to formulate a response. I guess I like singing a little. I'm okay with computers, but I don't use them all that much. Singing's not exactly something I expected to hear. It's hard to imagine her singing voice, given how soft-spoken she is. Lily, on the other hand, simply nods. She must already know all this, since she's been friends with Hanako for 1 year or so by now. What about me? She hesitates before quickly flicking her head up and down. It's only logical that she'd want me to talk about my hobbies after she's told me hers. There's chess, obviously, but also, there was soccer as well, though I can't really do that anymore. Reading, which I picked up in hospital. This is surprisingly hard. Lily and Hanako look a little put off by the direction this is taking, and the more I think about it, the more I am too. It sounds as if you've picked up quite a few things since your accident. What, 2? Lily's candour is coated with probably the most positive spin one could put on what I said. Hanako, however, is silent. If a situation becomes difficult, her reaction always seems to be withdrawing into silence in order to prevent things getting worse. That or physically retreating. Hey, if things get awkward like that, in real life, right? Alright, number 1 MLG tip right here. Getting awkward, you know, awkward silences, that sort of thing. Just take off your clothes. Hey, no. Hey, listen to me here, alright? This is serious. Just take off your clothes, and then just walk out of the door. Leave the clothes there, just drop the clothes on the floor, and just walk out of the door. Alright? Trust me, it'll work. A soft ringing gives us a pause. As Lily reaches into her pocket, it becomes obvious that the sound's coming from her phone, and there was also sound coming from my TV because my Xbox is still on. Shut up, TV! Sorry. Yeah, me too. Sorry. It's okay. Lily gives a quick nod before shuffling out of her seat and taking the call a little distance away to avoid disturbing the both of us. Must be nice to be popular. Hanako smiles but doesn't take up the hook for further discussion. So I die. I end up just sitting back and closing my eyes, relaxing as best I can. It's nice and peaceful here. I wonder what it'd be like to have grown up somewhere like this, rather than in the city. You come from the city? Looks like I've found something she wants to talk about. Yeah, you could say I was a city kid through and through. It sounds like a lot changed. It did. I'm still not quite sure what to make of it all though. It's a bit of a culture shock in more ways than one. You must have gone through something like this when you first arrived at Yamaku, right? I'd imagine most new students would. Not really. Hanako gazes a little to the side, looking unwilling to go on. I tilt my head inquisitively, but a couple of seconds pass with no further answer. But can't we deal with that on Monday? The fallout has hardly settled from the last. I understand. I'll try to talk her down. You know what she's like when she gets locked onto an idea. Yes, thank you. I'll talk to you later then. Goodbye. Lily's conversation ends with the snap of her phone closing. She returns to our table, but doesn't take her seat. Need to go? Unfortunately, class representative work calls once again. I can come with you. It's alright, Hanako. I'm just going straight to the student council. There's no need to spoil a fine evening on my account. Besides, if you were to accompany me on my way back to the school, who would keep our poor Hisao company? Okay. I can join you for tea again later tonight if you'd like. I may well need it. We agree on that plan, and Lily says her farewells to the both of us, taking a cane after Hanako passes it to her. Despite my offer to pay for Lily's share, she insists on giving us her portion of the bill and gives her regards to Yuko as she takes her leave. And then we're alone. It may be all well and good to leave Hanako and I alone to have some time together, but all it typically means is the two of us sitting near each other in silence for a while. I wonder what I must look like to Hanako. I never thought of myself as a scary person, but to have someone my own age acting this way around me makes me intensely self-aware, as if it's my fault that she's so troubled. Hey, you're not the best social person as well, Hisao, alright? Hey, you have problems too, buddy, alright? You don't exactly bring up the most thought-provoking conversations sometimes. Just saying, not Hanako, Hisao, right? God, sometimes this Hisao kid doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't take my advice, and this is where it gets him. She might get more used to people if she were to stop being so cloistered in Yamaku, but then again, when even people much older than her react so strongly after a single glance at her face, she may well feel the same way I do now. How do they react so strongly? Like, do they look away and then they go, "My eyes! My eyes!" No, not exactly. Although I do know what you mean. It's a real catch-22. If she stays in Yamaku, she won't get used to socializing, but if she leaves, any efforts she might try would get thrown back at her by the people who can't deal with her scarring. Can someone please tell me what catch-22 means? I hear it all the time, but I've just never bothered to Google it or look it up. Want to order something else to keep us going? We haven't had much of a dinner after all. Hanako brightens and nods vigorously, glad that I brought the topic up for her. I catch Yuko's gaze and she dutifully comes over to take our orders. Would you like something else? I'll just have a sandwich special and a hot chocolate. Bit late for coffee by now. Hanako? I'll have the same. With a nod and a bow, Yuko turns on the ball of her foot and returns behind the counter where she busies herself fishing out bread and condiments and working the machine to make our drinks. Not a word is said between us until Yuko comes back. She smiles and gives us our food and drinks, before moving to a customer who's called for her attention. I give up on the prospect of having much of a conversation with my companion and decide to just enjoy the meal, small as it may be. It tastes nice, as does most of the food here. After having a few mouthfuls, I notice something's missing, namely the sound of Hanako eating. Looking back to her, I see Hanako fidgeting a little behind her untouched sandwich. Not hungry? She shakes her head from side to side. Even as she does, the patch of hair that she keeps over the right side of her face still does its job in hiding it almost entirely. It's not that. Oh, I was all ready to have your share too. You look troubled. Is something wrong? I'm startled by her thinking that I'm the one who looks troubled, but on second thought, she's probably right. My face may have given away my emotions without me noticing, and she's hardly a dim person. Oh, I have to yawn. Quite the opposite. Tired. This monster isn't doing me good. We're friends, right? Friends. Oh, that's a cruel word, Hisao. You don't say that to a girl you like. Come on, bro. Come on, man. See what I'm telling you? This guy doesn't listen. From the tone of her voice and shrinking posture, it looks as though I've hit yet another landmine. Yep. This is another reason why interacting with her is difficult. The self-imposed psychological barriers she puts up between herself and others, including me, and most likely even Lily. It's a shame that I think that we are. I'm a little taken off guard by Hanako's straightforward answer, all the more so since I was about to give up on getting any reply at all. I see. Am I wrong? Sorry, No, it's just hearing confirmation of that from you is reassuring. To pick up on what you said earlier, nice save. Since coming to Yamaku, I've been a bit uneasy about how I should relate with others. I find myself chuckling a little. It's surprising how much of a relief that was. I can feel my face smiling as I pick up my cup of hot chocolate and bring it to my lips. Ouch, that's hot. That's why I haven't eaten yet. I was waiting for my drink to cool down first. I guess I'll wait then. She was sabotaging you, bro. See, she didn't want to say, oh, you might want to wait for your hot chocolate to cool down there, Hisao, buddy. But no, she just, you know, she wanted to wait till you'd taken your sip, you burnt your lip, and then she just laughs at you. I don't know. I just don't know. The both of us share a little chuckle. The situation isn't really that funny, but for some reason it feels like laughing is the most natural thing to do right now. I guess we were both a bit wound up about each other. I was so busy thinking Hanako was the one with something wrong. It took her to remind me that I was uneasy as well. But be that as it may, it still feels a little nice to have someone thinking about me like that, in her own way. Following a long quiet trudge up the hill and into the school grounds, the two of us find ourselves between the two dormitories. Regular night patrols pass between the male and female dormitory buildings, both for security and to quickly raise the alarm for any medical issues that may arise. The guard currently on duty notices us and gives us a quick nod as he continues on his way. A loud yawn that was not even a yawn, that was more of a stretch and a bit of a yeah, that was terrible. From Hanako's mouth, oh, that's even worse because I did it in a guy's voice. Before she has a chance to cover it. I have little doubt she's fairly tired by now. I'd better be off to my room then. See you tomorrow, Hanako. Good night. We separate and begin to walk our separate ways, before I stop and look back. Hanako stands there waving to me as she smiles. I smile and wave back to her, and after a few seconds she turns and walks up the stairs to her dormitory building, disappearing through the door. You know what would have been awkward? If you turned to smile and wave to her and she just continued walking. She didn't even bother to turn around and look at you. Yeah. You're lucky she did, because, you know, sometimes that happens. These little moments we share between us feel like a small treasure. One thing is sure, I want to protect that small delicate smile she so fleetingly wears around a few people. I wonder about these feelings I have when Hanako's around, and when I'm able to do things for her, whether they may be the seed for something beyond what we share now. Katawa Shoujo. I need a drink. It's a perfect time to drink. The summertime sun is something to be savoured, but when combined with the clean country air, it's all the better. Now I have the taste of that monster on my tongue. The track and field club members are horsing around on the field ahead. Some are playing with a soccer ball, others are talking, and a few laugh as two of them mock fight with each other. None of them pay me any heed as I sit alone on the grass, underneath the shade of a particularly large tree. It's a nice and peaceful moment after a dreary day of schoolwork. I played soccer pretty often before my heart attack, so I had thought it would be really nostalgic to watch them. What I'm feeling now, though, is quite distinct from that emotion. There she is. I hear footsteps approaching from behind me. I can't remember her name. Damn it. And I turn to my side to see one of my classmates taking a seat beside me. I'm taken off guard as the two of us haven't talked much before, and I didn't think anyone would notice me here. Mickey, that's it. Sup? Hey Miura, wasn't it? Oh, stuff that up. Commas, Andrew. Hey Miura. Oh, I did it again. Forget it. I'll just carry on. Just call me Mickey. Surnames are too stuffy. Likewise then. We both look back out to the field where the guys are playing. It looks like they're getting ready to have a second game, with people spreading out to their positions and the ball being carried to the centre of the field. Sure enough, the whistle is blown to begin the match and they get right back into it. Not gonna play? Nah, just gonna rest for a bit. What about you? You kinda look like you wanted to play when you were watching us before. so someone did notice me after all. It's kind of a long story. Her face says that I've piqued her interest. I need a burp. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm in Yamaku because I've got a heart condition. I can't really play soccer anymore. Wanted to be a soccer player, did you? Nah, I only really did it for fun. My friends played it, so I played it as well. It's the same as me. Any of those guys playing around could have been me before my accident, but I don't feel like I have any real wish to go back to that, either. It's a little hard to explain. I'm still decently physically built from the days when I played, even if my strength's largely left me by now, and I got on well with the other club members. When I think about it, I should feel pretty bad watching people play when I can't anymore, yet I don't. Maybe it's a good thing, a sign that I've gotten over it and that I'm ready to become a new person. Sounds like the therapy's working, buddy. Sorry, I'm kinda rambling. That's cool, I'm actually glad to hear that. It sounds like you really have your stuff together. Some of the people that come to Yamaku are pretty messed up at first. So you're a member of the track and field club then? Yep, been in it since I first arrived. Don't suppose you're friends with Emmy? Short, fast runner, no legs? I don't think there are all that many female track and field members. Haha, Emmy, everyone knows about her, don't they? But nah, I tend to get on better with guys, so me and Emmy don't really talk much. Anyway, what about you? Well, I'm not really in any clubs, real clubs anyway. You've been hanging around with Hanako and that blonde Amazon though, right? Blonde Amazon. I suppose Lily has the height to fit that description. If nothing else, I nod in response without making too fine a point of things. Then don't worry about it. As long as you've got some friends, you don't need to join a club. A loud whistling from the field attracts our attention. One of the players is on the ground, clutching his leg, faking, and the others stop to jog up to him, leaving Mickey grimacing. Ouch, that looks painful. That guy really has bad luck. As she continues to look out onto the field, I can't help being reminded of her own injuries. Her left arm, ending in a stump rather than a hand, has been bandaged up for the entire time I've been in Yamaku, and her injury doesn't seem that new. She turns to talk to me again and catches me looking. Both of us sit in an awkward silence as she takes her bandaged arm and holds it in her lap with the other remaining hand. Okay. Sorry, I guess I'm still a bit... It's fine, really. Her tone is light, but neither of us say anything afterwards. Every disabled student here has their own way of dealing with their problems, and some find their conditions troublesome. It's only natural. I'm included among them after all. The injured guy from the soccer game manages to get onto his feet with some help, and ends up hobbling off the field with one arm over the shoulder of another for support. Probably just pulled a muscle if he can still manage to walk.